Welcome everyone, today we have a new guide for last epoch. Now in this video, I have made a tier list and also a mega guide for 5 of the top classes in the season for patch 1.0. So looking behind me, we have Marksman, Warlock, Falconer, Paladin and also Runemaster. I have been thinking of making something similar, and this video will provide you guys the entire details of my rankings for those classes, and also providing you guys with a demonstration of those classes, including the gameplay, detailed endgame guide, leveling guide, and also transitional guide. Because we have a lot of work and also guides made into those classes, and there's a lot more guides from the community. So this way, this will be a mega guide if you guys are interested in those particular class or builds. So not only this video will provide an understanding of those classes in terms of their strength, weakness, and also their capacities to slay bosses and also to farm items, we'll also have a look at the classes when they're extremely mobile, like this one. So here is my marksman reaching 190 movement speed as I dash around in the map, which is insanely good for clearing out different content. Here I was doing my side quest. Now, at the moment, a lot of our viewers were asking me, Matt, hey, which class should I start? Or which class should I build? My recommendation is always look into the end game and also some display of the gameplay of the class or the combination of the skills. See if you like it. So here, the first part of the video, let me introduce to you guys this particular function. Yes, I have found each of the videos or the guides we have or from other friends and also other YouTubers or other live stream that will show you a demonstration of the gameplay. And those are timestamped in such a way that if you click onto the video, this will show you exactly the gameplay of the build. So here I'm showing you the gameplay of the marksman with 1200 corruption and also farming for different bosses and also in different mode. So this way, if you have not tried the class or if you have not tried the build, you can easily check it out for yourself to see if this is going to be the type of the class or the characters you want to play. And then follow from there, if you want to play this character or class, then we'll have tons of guide about the end game, about mid game transitioning, about leveling for this class or the build, and then finally anything related to farming for the gears or related to transitioning, or maybe there's alternative build that can also be great for leveling as well. Now I'm calling this a mega guide because I have also included tons of guide and also information that we have posted on last epoch, including a power leveling method to gain 40 levels in 30 minutes. There's tons of great guides I have made and want to share with you guys, and this week you can see all of them in a summarized form. So of course guys, the first part will be focusing on the tier list for 5 of the best class. After that, I'll introduce and also the usage of the guide, and then we'll also follow through with additional information and some tips related to the game. So yes guys, right away you can see this guy is gonna be action-packed, packed with tons of information and to provide you guys with a best method of leveling. So let's start with our first class of marksman. I'll provide you guys with a short demonstration which I felt was really nice to show. Marksman can easily reach tons of movement speed. Here doing my side quest, I was achieving 190 movement speed. Now it's also possible I can get over 200 movement speed because we use so much haste, so much mobility, and we dash around a lot. Now in terms of the damage dealing potential, my friend AMB really demonstrated to us that over 1200 corruption over here, he was clearing out the content like if they're like normal content. And this particular build is extremely mobile, the way we use dash and also lightning strikes to hit everybody. So this is pretty much a ball lightning build for the rogue. And the best thing is, the faster you throw, the more mana regen you have, the quicker you attack, the more damage you deal. The build is insanely good against bosses or against any single target. It is also really good AoE. So this is one of my top meta build for the season for the marksman. Overall, I'm ranking this build 10 out of 10. In terms of leveling, because you're leveling so fast throughout the game, and yes, we do have leveling guides as well if you want to have a look, we have multiple ways of leveling. You can be boosted by a friend, or you can just level yourself using one of our transitional build. Right at level 36, I was able to do Monolith at level 58. So this build is incredibly good in pushing corruption, and this build does tons of AoE for that rareness. You can see in any of the demonstrations, it is great boss layer and also great for mobility. One of the downside I would say for the build is that it is not the extremely tanky build. It is moderate in terms of tankiness, and it will be transforming your health into warding. and this was demonstrated in our replays. You can see that my friend's HP is pretty much 0, while he has close to 10,000 warding, and the biggest defensive capacity is his ability to generate and so stack cold resistance. The higher cold resistance he has, the more ward retention he has, and also the stronger he becomes. Now coming over to our second class, the Warlock. Let's briefly have a look at the gameplay demonstration for the Warlock over here. And here we have 800 plus corruption and also testing dummy demonstrations. The Warlock can achieve tons of damage over time, and it is really durable, one of the tankiest class. So you can see I was easily achieving 1 million, 2 million damage over here with testing dummies. And with 800 plus corruption, my Warlock doesn't really have a problem. And although it might seem a little slower compared to the Marksman over here, the Warlock is extremely tanky. So you can see my current warding is always over 20,000, and most of the time I can easily get over 60,000 and even more warding. So the Warlock is one of the safest build and also insane damage build for pushing for higher corruptions and also farming any content in the game. Now briefly have a look at the single target potential for the Warlock at corruption level 800. You can see that we can set up before the boss come and gain tons of warding. Most of the time you don't have to worry about the boss's damage, and your damage over time is quite significant. Because most of your damage is also AoE, you deal damage to the boss while he summon minions, you'll take those out as well. And you can see I can stand in boss's skills and I can be casting my immune to physical damage, my little ball, my Perfume Veil. So the entire skill set of the Warlock is extremely smooth and it's very easy to play. The required items and also skills are very simple as well. Once you get used to farming and also finding 2 of your crucial items, this Warlock becomes online right after 200 or 100 corruption. And you can easily push over 1000 corruption using our setup and also our guides. And yes, I'm in the Circle of Fortune, so you can see there's tons of loot for the Warlock over here. Now on the topic of guides, not only do we have a detailed endgame guide for the Warlock, we also have core gear farming guide, and I have made a timestamp for you guys over here to jump directly into how to find each of your gears and also where to farm them and how you should be farming those. Now if you guys are in the Merchant Guild, I'll be making a guide to teach you how to make gold on the Merchant Guild so you can buy your gears as well. And during this time, before you get your full set of gears, we also have a transitional build for the Warlock, which I use for farming before I got all my gears. So this way, you can be leveling your Warlock, you can be farming before you get all your gears, you know how to get your gears, and then you know how to get into the endgame using our setup. Now I would say Warlock was one of my main class, and I have pushed over to 1000 corruption using the Warlock. Oh, here's a demonstration of the Marksman. So the Warlock overall, it is 9.5 for me. It has great AoE spells, it has great leveling potential, great pushing for corruption. Its mobility will be great if you can sustain yourself with a Ghost Flame. But in terms of boss lane, it is a little short compared to the Marksman, which is just insane. But in terms of tankiness, and if you plan to play hardcore, if you get your gears up for the Warlock, you're pretty much unkillable if you follow our skills and rotations introduced over here. It is really amazing to push for the top of the leaderboard in any of the content. Now, our next class of focus will be the Falconer. Now, briefly having a look at the demonstration of the Falconer, even though during the video it is a 500 recording from my friend CB over here, he has later reached 900, close to 1000 corruption using the build. Now, unlike that other build, which is super speedy and also super tanky, this build is one of the glass cannon that destroys your eyes. No, I'm joking. So this is the White Flash. This is the exploding ballista Falconer, which will be dealing ice damage across the map AoE wide. Now, I do believe they might have nerfed the range of the ice blast, but it is still close to the entire map as you go across the map. You'll be dealing tons of damage before you even see the enemies. And most of the time, they won't get to see you and they won't get to hit you. And that's quite important. Because this is a glass cannon build that is incredibly high in damage, but it is very squishy. You have negative resistance in exchange for tons of damage. And that was a mini boss. So briefly coming over to the boss fighting for this particular build. The same method also applies for 1000 plus corruption. You'll be setting yourself up for tons of damage armor reduction before the boss even spawns. And after that, the faster you can click, the more mana regen you have, the more damage you deal, you can pretty much one-shot the boss down to half HP within the first 2 seconds. After that, because you're a glass cannon build, you can't really take damage, but you can get to kill the boss before he kills you. Now, one of the biggest downsides for me of the build is actually the white flashes, because our eyes are not used to the white flashes, and if you guys are not having a great time playing the build, I don't recommend going with this. This is why I say I want to show you guys a build, the demonstration, and you really want to know what you're getting yourself into. Because this build can work at a very early stage of the game, but you'll be flashing yourself with a white disco light non-stop as you play the game. Now over here, we do have tons of guides and also information demonstrating the endgame with over 1000 corruption, and also providing you guys with alternative Falconer build. Because Falconer is not only about ballistas, we also have the dive bomb, the falconry, and also different variety of the builds that is offered over here. So there are the leveling build, there are transitional build for farming Monolith, there's also endgame movement speed build, which I really enjoyed before I moved over to the exploding ballistas. Now in terms of ranking for the Falconer, I really enjoyed the overall ability and also how smooth it is as my first character to reach really high levels. I was able to level extremely fast, it's so mobile. I was able to push corruption easily to 200, 300 very easily. Now in terms of arena boss lane, it can be a little short after 300 corruption if you're following one of the normal Falconer build. But if you're following the exploding ballista, it is really good. Good mobility, good damage, but one of the biggest downside is, yes guys, you do not have any defensive capacities. So just to show you guys the build over here, to be a strong Falconer that uses exploding ballista, you have minus 124%, minus 180% minus resistance. So anything touches you, you will explode. But you'll be dealing tremendous bonus damage because every bit of minus resistance also means you're dealing bonus damage. So this is an all-in glass cannon build, really fun mechanics, but really bad for the eyes. That is one of the biggest downside. Now I have forgot to mention that all of the build we explained at the start, the 3 build I have tested, and you can see a lot of guide. And those are great solo and also co-op build. But at the same time, if you have seen our today's video, we have had a video to show over 3000 corruption using co-op setup, and those setup can also be translated into solo playing setup. So this is coming from Snap and we're learning from him. So here let me show you guys a demonstration of the live stream from Snap. So here you can see this is a live stream and Snap and his friends were pushing close to 3000 corruption. And basically this demonstration will not only demonstrate you Snap playing the Runemaster and also his friend as a supporting Paladin. Notice the Paladin charging behind him with a shield. And Snap has tons of buffs on his character because of the Paladin. And here is a 3000 corruption run. You can see they're extremely mobile, extremely tanky with tons of barriers. And Snap, if you haven't seen our previous video, his Runemaster have over 70% dodge rate, 70% damage reduction, and also damage over time reduction. So him and his friends can easily cruise through any content in the game, and they are incredibly strong together in terms of a duo, a trio, or a 4-player party. And he has been showcasing to us how strong it is to play co-op in last Epoch. So if you guys are interested in playing the Runemaster solo play or co-op play, this can be a really good build. Now we don't get to see the direct point of view of the Paladin, but he's providing all the buffs over here, he's providing tons of barriers, healing, and also disable and also damage bonus. So this demonstration hopefully shows you the power of the Runemaster and also the Paladin in co-op action with over 3000 corruption. Now because Snap is the one that provided us with a lot of good learning and also highlight of the Paladin and also the Runemaster, a lot of the guide and also links will be related to Snap. So make sure you follow his YouTube channel and also Twitch to learn from him and also ask him questions live. And over here, if you guys are planning to level the Paladin or if you're planning to level the Runemaster, I have found 2 community leveling guide over here, so 2 are over here. Now personally, I have not leveled those class before, so I have not made a guide before. But once we have a detailed guide with video demonstration, I'll be replacing those with our own guide with video demonstration. So at this moment, I found the latest updated guide that is on the top of the builders. If you guys do want to follow them to play the Paladin, or if you want to play the Runemaster, I have you ready for a lot of content and also lots of guides. Now in terms of ranking, I'll give the Runemaster 9.5 maybe even. I can see the Runemaster is extremely mobile. And if you've seen our video, the demonstration of the transition for the solo play is also incredibly good against stun immunity, tons of damage, tons of health, and also very defensive. So in terms of pushing corruption, Paladin and also Runemaster are great by themselves, but they can be very tanky, very powerful together as a co-op play. So if you're playing with your friend and you guys want to make a new character, those two classes could be some of the best installed class to push for really high corruption over here. Now by himself, the Paladin can be a little weaker in terms of boss slaying, in terms of mobility, but combined with the Runemaster or any of the class that is demonstrated over here, the Paladin is definitely S tier for any of the co-op play. Because the latest healing hand and also the ability to deal more damage and also amplify the damage, give you tons of buffs, the Paladin is one of the most wanted class in the looking for play for a supporting character. So if you're looking for play guys, we also have the official Discord available for you guys to look for parties, to get help or help others. And our own Majestic Discord for Last Epoch is also ready for looking for plays and also providing you guys with tons of tricks, tips, and also answering questions related to Last Epoch. So you can definitely come over here to play co-op and also finding some friends to help you level. Now hopefully you guys enjoyed the first part. Oh boy, it took me a while. I tried to timestamp everything, find all the related guide and try to make them concise in a way that is easy to read. So the second part, I'll briefly explain the links over here. I think they are quite self-explanatory, and I'll be adding the official Discord and our Discord for looking for play. So this way, if you want to power level guys, and if you are joining a Discord, this is one of the best ways to level. I just helped my friend level close to 20 levels within 10 minutes, from level 50 to level 70 using this method. Now if you are looking for our latest guides, we have a really good collection of guides over here in one folder. So everything is related over here with the written guides, links, and also tips, and also additional information to any of the guides and also videos. Together with farming, crafting, loot filter guide, we also have additional guide for other classes for leveling and also for the endgame. So my goal in the future is we'll be adding some of the top build and also guides for each of the class, each of the masteries, up to all 15 of them. And if they have a variety of build, we also add them over here as alternative build for each of those combinations. So hopefully you guys enjoy this guide and let me know in the comments what do you think about this mega guide. And if you have friends that is planning to try different build or looking into different build, definitely share him our mega guide so all the information is provided in one spot. And I'll be constantly updating this guide, so make sure you subscribe and also stay tuned for the latest update, including all the loot filters for each of the classes. Now if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be learning with tons of the top meta, top last epoch build from different players in terms of solo and also in terms of co-op, to push for higher corruptions, 800, 2000 here, and also different ways of getting top leaderboard with arena, with leveling. And in doing so, we'll be learning multiple builds from the best players in the world. So make sure you subscribe and join me on this adventure to learn with Last Epoch. And if you guys do have an amazing build, whether it's a fun build, it's a creative build, or maybe a top meta build, you can share with me on Discord, and I'll look into it, learn the build, and share with everyone on the Last Epoch community.